Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea about where true freedom comes from, especially when the political world just feels, well, disappointing. We're going to see why just waiting for the next election might not be the whole story. So let's start with something that happened recently in Argentina. There was a big provincial election, and the result left a lot of people who believe in liberty feeling pretty let down, pretty disillusioned. It was a big setback, and it made everyone ask a really important question. If the ballot box doesn't work, then what do we do? And this gets us right to the heart of a huge debate. What's the best way to actually get to a freer society? Is it all about winning elections, or is there another way? Wow. On one side, you've got the purists. They tend to look for perfect, all-or-nothing solutions, and they'll criticize any compromise. But on the other side, you have the pragmatists. They believe that any step forward, no matter how small, that reduces the power of the state is a win worth celebrating. And, a leader like Javier Milei in Argentina is a perfect example of this pragmatic approach. When he pushes to do things like close the central bank or make it easier to get certain permits, his supporters see those as real, concrete wins that move the needle in the right direction. But here's the thing, and it's a big but. Even when you're making progress, the very nature of the state is to try and get more control, not less. So it's always this constant push and pull, this constant battle. And for a perfect example of this pushback, look no further than what happened in Buenos Aires province. The very day after Milei's opposition won that election, what did they do? They immediately announced they were going to increase tax pressure on digital wallets. It just shows how fast the state can move to reclaim ground. So if politics is this never-ending tug of war, where does real, lasting change actually come from? Is there maybe another front in this fight for freedom, one where our victories can be a little more permanent? What if the real answer isn't just in the voting booth? Okay, so let's get into this powerful shift in thinking. It's the idea that freedom isn't just something you hope for from politicians, it's something you have to actively do. The whole idea boils down to this. Real sovereignty, real freedom, isn't something a politician can just grant you with a new law. No, it's something you have to build for yourself, through your own actions day in and day out. So we're talking about a major shift here, from being a passive citizen who just crosses their fingers every election cycle to becoming an active player in building your own freedom. But, okay, how do you actually do that, especially when it comes to your money, the one thing the state wants to control more than anything else? So let's talk about the tools that make this financial freedom a reality. And the best part? We don't have to wait for them to be invented. They're already here. The key technology here is called peer-to-peer electronic cash. Just think of it like digital cash for the internet. And a fantastic real-world example of this in action is Bitcoin Cash, or BCH. So what makes something like Bitcoin Cash so powerful? Well, it's all about these features, and each one is a direct answer to state control. Permissionless means nobody, no bank, no government, can stop you from sending your money. Self-custody means it's actually your money in your control. It's a system built from the ground up for you, the individual. And check this out. This is how simple it is to get started. We're not talking about some complicated process that takes years. You can literally download an app, get some BCH, and start transacting freely with anyone on the planet. It's about taking direct, immediate action. This table just lays it out so clearly, right? It's a tale of two systems. On one side, you have the state system, which is all about third-party control and needing permission. On the other, you have a system like Bitcoin Cash, which is built for you to be in control. It's a completely different philosophy. So let's be super clear here. This isn't about just walking away from politics, not at all. Politics is a battleground we absolutely cannot afford to lose. We have to occupy that space. Instead, this is about a smarter, more complete strategy. So the most effective path forward, it's really about combining both of these things. On the political front, you have pragmatic leaders like Milei who can fight to slow down the government, cut red tape, and basically buy us time. They create the breathing room we need for freedom to actually grow. And that's the magic right there. While politics is creating that space, individuals can use that time to pick up these new tools. By building a parallel economy using technology like Bitcoin Cash, you create a foundation of freedom that doesn't really care who wins the next election. So, the big takeaway from all of this is that the power to be free isn't something that's way out there waiting for someone to give it to us. The tools are already here. They're in our hands, on our phones, right now. The only question left is, what are you going to do with them?